Hello and welcome to Obscure Movie Reviews, where we love to take a look at some of the more unknown and ambiguous titles in cinema history. Here we focus on movies that are hard to find, on the older side, relatively unknown, or perhaps they simply lack in popularity. So take your medication and pet your favorite animal as we listen intently to The Voices. When likable nice guy Jerry is looking to pursue his office crush, he does so with advice from his pets, of all people.
She's from England, Jerry. In her eyes, you're a ridiculous peasant.
Oh, yeah. Guess what? I'm not a peasant, Mr. Whiskers.
I'm thinking that this is a real good time for a walk, Jerry.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
You're out your league.
But when she stands him up for a date, things quickly spiral out of control. Mayhem ensues as Jerry attempts to regain control of his world, even if that world only exists in his fragile mind. The Voices is directed by Marjan Satrapi and focuses on difficult themes involving murder, schizophrenia, and the tragic main character dealing with both. When I first saw the trailer for this film, it had already been out for 8 years. I wondered how on earth could I have possibly missed it, especially with as popular as Ryan Reynolds had become by that point. I just knew I had to see it. So, how did it turn out? Ryan Reynolds plays Jerry, a mentally unstable man who hears voices in the form of his cat and dog, with Reynolds supplying the voices for each of them.
Told you so.
Told me so what?
Well, I told you like killing, and now the cops, they say the same thing.
Reynolds delivers an outstanding performance, perhaps his best ever, switching between Jerry's charming, innocent persona and his dark, delusional side. He brings depth and complexity to the character, and the supporting cast, including Gemma Arterton and Anna Kendrick, do an excellent job as well. But Ryan Reynolds is the real draw here. I seldom have ever gone through so many conflicting emotions toward a character as I did in this film. Reynolds left me smiling, frightened, heartbroken, angry, and disgusted all at the same time. From my perspective, Jerry might be the most compelling and interesting character that Reynolds has ever portrayed. The acting in this movie gets an 8 out of 10 for being really good. The pacing in The Voices is well done, as the film keeps the audience engaged with its unique blend of humor and horror. It's worth noting that the film takes its time to establish Jerry's character and his relationships with his co-workers, as well as the pets, before delving into the darker elements of the story. The slow build-up allows the audience to become invested in Jerry's life and personality, making the eventual reveal of his mental illness and violent tendencies even more shocking.
Lucifer is an angel, a fallen angel.
The film then keeps a consistent pace as it balances the dark and comedic elements, never letting the audience get too comfortable and always keeping them on edge. The film takes a while to build up the tension, but once it does, it never lets up. The pacing of the film overall is good and will get a 7 out of 10. The cinematography in The Voices is excellent, with the use of bright, cheerful colors in the sets and costumes, which provide a striking contrast to the dark and disturbing themes of the movie. Director of photography Maxim Alexander, famous for such films as The Nun and Shazam, showcases his talent perfectly. The colorful and whimsical nature of the sets and costumes help create a false sense of security for the audience, making the film's more violent and unsettling scenes even more disturbing. There's a great use of close-ups during the more intense and emotional moments. This technique allows the audience to see the pain and turmoil in Jerry's eyes and to empathize with his struggles. Additionally, the camera may move quickly and frenetically during his hallucinations and delusions. The film's visual style plays a significant role in creating the unsettling and disturbing atmosphere. The cinematography in this movie gets an 8 out of 10 for being really good. The movie's soundtrack is well suited to its tone, with an upbeat score and catchy pop songs that highlight Jerry's distorted perception of reality. The film's use of songs in contrast with the dark subject matter is a clever and effective technique. The upbeat music adds to the unsettling nature of the story and enhances the sense of unease felt by the audience. Additionally, the use of sound effects such as some of the meteor sounds adds to the immersion of the film and further highlights Jerry's fractured mental state. The soundtrack helps to make the film's moments of violence all the more jarring, but could be unsettling for some viewers with a sensitive stomach. The movie soundtrack will earn a 7 out of 10. As we've said, The Voices tells the story of Jerry, a likable but deeply disturbed man who struggles to maintain his sanity after accidentally killing his co-worker. The film is a darkly comedic exploration of mental illness, guilt, and the human condition. The use of Bosco the dog and Mr. Whiskers the cat as the two sides of Jerry's conscience is a great storytelling device, with Bosco being encouraging, sympathetic, and insightful, much like a real dog, while Mr. Whiskers is bullying, antagonistic, and destructive, much like a real cat.
Find someone else, kill them, and you will discover what it feels like to be truly alive.
As the plot goes on, you'll find yourself viewing Jerry at first with sympathy, then worry, and then outright fear. Written by Michael R. Perry, better known for his television writing than film, the twists and turns keep the audience on the edge of their seats, and this is definitely a highlight of Perry's resume. The story gets an 8 out of 10 for being really good. Films like this that leave hints of what is really going on tend to lend themselves to a rewatch, and this one is no exception. There are definitely things that you could glean from a second viewing, particularly if you start looking for the indications of Jerry's insanity early on. However, the film can also be very disturbing at times, which might make you not want to revisit it, at least not right away. The themes of the film can be very difficult for some viewers, and while anyone who has watched my channel for any length of time knows that I love a good horror movie, I'm not a huge fan of violence for the sake of violence.
See, that's like 10 years of therapy in 10 seconds.
That and the ending left me scratching my head. I've read probably a dozen articles trying to explain the ending, and they all have a different interpretation, so clearly I'm not the only one that doesn't understand it very well. So I can say that I haven't been very compelled to watch it again, but if I do, it will be for the performances. It will get a 4 out of 10 for having below average rewatchability. I remember seeing the trailer and expecting a dark comedy that would keep me laughing the whole way. That isn't what I got, though. The marketing was a little deceptive, and the funniest parts of the movie are definitely seen in the trailer.
Mr. Whiskers! Dr. Warren! Fiona, cut it out! Mr. Whiskers!
But upon watching the film, you'll discover that those parts of the movie, when viewed in context, are not nearly as funny as you might have thought. More often, they're quite tragic or even horrific. Despite not being ready to rewatch it, this might be one of my favorite Ryan Reynolds films. His range of emotion and the honesty in which he plays Jerry is one of the best performances I've seen in recent years. While the ending of the film may be head-scratching, it'll still garner an 8 out of 10 from me for being really good. Overall, the movie rates at a 7.14 out of 10 for being a good film. The voices is well crafted, and the story is compelling, giving a unique and thought-provoking movie that's definitely worth a watch. Thank you everybody for watching that obscure movie review. If you liked this and you want to see other obscure movie reviews, feel free to check out our other content on the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on the latest content. Content just like this.